Hello, welcome to our next episode of the Founder Ride, which is Fire Fast. Today, we've talked about in previous episodes where we are on the ride, and today I am in the very tail end of light at the end of the tunnel. Super excited to move in the accelerating stage, and it's all in part because of the work we did in 2024 to put, some critical foundations in place, some new people in place, certainly major investment in technology and infrastructure. And this year is all about simply growing and growing profitably and growing well and growing with fun. But a topic that's not fun that we need to talk about, the entrepreneurs oftentimes just don't do well with, and me included, to be really candid, is fire fast. We talked about A players in one of our earlier episodes, and talked about how important it was to have A and B players. And remember, the A player is a person who lives and breathes your values and does a great job at their job. A B player is a person who lives and breathes your values, but they're not old enough, not been in the company long enough yet to do great at their job, but they will get there. And a C player is everybody else. So we hire C players, right? We try not to, but it happens. Or occasionally, life circumstances get in the way where you have a person who was an A player that for whatever reason becomes a C player, right? Sometimes the company outgrows people as well, and firing fast is important, and we need to do a better job of this as well too. The reason why firing fast is so important is that when you have C players on your team, your A and B players really are frustrated with you as the entrepreneur, that you're not getting rid of them, because how do they tolerate, and how do the A players asking themselves, how does the entrepreneur, how do you as the owner tolerate having these C players on team? We had an experience, actually, I'll never forget this, back in 2020, we had A player. We were desperate to hire some folks. We hired two people that were gambles on us, and as it turns out, they ended up both being C players. And one of my A players, literally, who was working tons of hours and doing whatever it took, she verbalized. She was like, "Look, if they're not working hard, I'm not going to work hard. Why should I?" And I was flabbergasted by that. It's like, well, you always have, but she really was frustrated that these other two people weren't putting the time in. And it hit me hard. And as it turns out, all three are gone now. And that was a learning lesson for me. And so we also had a recent experience last year in 2024 where we had an A player who really, just for life circumstances, became a C player. He made a choice to not work as hard, didn't care as much, and it was notably visible on the whole team. And it transferred to the whole team, it transferred leadership team. As a leadership team, we talked about this person, it felt like every week, but certainly every month, and he really became a cancer to our organization. And in hindsight, he ended up leaving for life circumstances, but in hindsight, we should have fired him long beforehand, because he consumed so much time, he spread so much negative energy, and just made our leadership team so much harder to deal with things on a day-to-day basis. In fact, two of our outside consultants said, you mention this person's name every single time, you gotta get rid of them. And we didn't, and we should have. And that's something I've committed to myself, just to be better at doing, just not keeping people who are not A players. It's important to always invest in people. So, you hire a B player, and you want to invest in them to become an A player. Once in a blue moon, you can convert a C player to an A player, and that could be a right person, right seat issue. Where you might have a person who's in the wrong seat and they're a C player in that seat, but a different seat, they're an A player. But if you can't put them in one of those camps, you've got to get rid of the folks, and you have to get rid of them quickly. Turnover is not easy. It's hard. It's hard to explain to the team, but I think as a generalization, if you are turning people over for the right reasons, and you're explaining to the remaining team why you're turning them over for the right reasons, they get it. And they're, it's not comfortable, it's not fun, it's not enjoyable, it's not great for relationship building necessarily, but in terms of building enterprise value in your business, in terms of serving your clients and your customers well, it's really important. There's plenty of tools and processes out there, particularly in EOS and Pinnacle and Rockefeller Habits and MAP. There's tools to continue and evaluate your A players. I think it's really important as a part of a regular review process, employee review process, where you sit down with your team member and explain where are they. It's ranking systems, and where are they in their journey. We've done this for many, many years, and it's certainly the healthiest thing we do with folks. We just, in hindsight, we need to be more assertive in moving our C players along quicker. And that's something that every organization, and it's, when you're an entrepreneur, you care, you're emotionally engaged, you want people to win. So it's hard, it's not easy to do, but in the end, it's really best for everybody if you move that C player on somewhere else. And they can be an A player somewhere else in a different environment. And it may not be them, it could be you, it could be your company, it could be the culture, whatever it is, that they can't thrive in your company or in your culture, but they're better suited somewhere else. And you'll find somebody else to plug into your culture, your company, your job, and they can be A players there. And that's just part of the process. So I do believe, and it's tough, but in any organization, no matter how small, you need to have a process and a person and dedicated, or both process and person dedicated to continuing to invest in your team, to hire A players, help them be A players, put the tools in place to be A players. It's so much less expensive when you're making that investment overall in the long term, and better for your team, better for your clients. And again, as I've said before many times, it's simply more fun. Imagine that environment where you're going to work every day, where you only have A and B players, no C players at all. It's just a better, more fun environment. Thank you for your time today. I know this isn't necessarily a fun topic. It's an important topic. It's a good topic. It's an important topic, period. A necessary topic, and one that you have to really get good at. We have to always improve as well. Our next episode is about entrepreneurship and why it's not for the faint of heart. Very much aligns with our conversation today that moving people along fire fast is not fun, not enjoyable, but it's a necessary part of being an entrepreneur, and why it's just simply not for faint of the heart. Thank you for your time today. Call with any questions, and we'll talk to you our next episode.